So welcome home. Welcome home to yourself. And welcome to this practice of Yoga Nidra. Welcome to this practice of Yoga Nidra with the intention to welcome the ancient wisdom of the living earth as part of who you are, to welcome that experience with every breath, and to feel that with each breath out, literally the weight of you is the earth and is carried by the earth. So that when the breath goes out, it feels as if the body is welcomed by the loving arms of the living earth herself. As if when the breath goes out, that little tiny rootlets could grow down from you on the exhale into the earth herself. Little tiny rootlets from the weight of your body settling down into the earth. Radical, underground network, connecting, reconnecting, nourishing. Breathing out into the welcome of the living earth. And allowing when the breath comes in for there to be a welcome in the body for the warmth of the sun, for the light, for the prana in the breath. Bright and sunny, for that to come in as if the light, the sunlight on the breath could enter the body of the earth which you are. Exhaling into the earth with the welcome for you and your weight carried by her. Inhaling, welcoming in the light, the sun, the bright prana in the air which you breathe. And feeling as the light-filled air enters you, that the movement of the breath is in fact fluid, and that the flow of the breath through the earth of your body moves in the way that the rivers and the oceans move through the face of the earth. So feeling that the breath moves the way the water does, fluid on the face of the earth, and that each breath out deepens your experience of the body as earth, and each breath in welcomes this light-filled air into the body of the earth and lets the air move through you, then becoming like the waters that move through the earth, as if all the valleys and the curves of your body are like the hills and the curves of the valleys of the earth herself. An embodied experience, a reconnection of the life of the living earth in every cell of you, in every joint, in every bone, in every curve and valley and tender place. The body is earth. And the breath moves like water through the earth. And as the body settles more completely into this grounded, earthed sense of stillness and welcome, the breath becomes more spacious and fluid and moving and flowing, as if you feel now you are being breathed by this breath. You can begin to feel into all that's arising and present right now. And to welcome what is as it arises. Simply listening is more than enough. As if listening to the music of what happens. Then what happens becomes more real, more tangible, clearer, brighter. And with that brightening sense of welcoming in what is already there, welcoming the possibility of a reconnection, a reintegration, a reclamation and a homecoming. Feeling how it is to invite for the mental attention to settle in this space of awareness which is Yoga Nidra, to be held safely in that space, and to drop the attention on the next exhale down into the space behind the center of the breastbone, as if coming home to the space of the heart, and feeling in that space a welcome for whatever it is in your life, a place, a person, a creature. A tree, a plant, a feeling, whatever it is in your life that you might feel a little bit glad about. Welcome that gladness, that appreciation into the space of the heart, and simply be with that feeling. And tenderly allow it perhaps to fill the whole of you, or perhaps to flow to places in the body that are calling out for tenderness. And let that appreciative gladness flow to those places, the way the water flows down to the lowest level and settles where it's needed to soak in. Listening to all the sounds which can be heard outside. And in hearing those sounds, hearing each as a sign back home to the state of awareness which is Yoga Nidra, to that state of awareness where it's possible to listen to the inner landscape of the body, calling for what's needed, and letting that gladness, that awareness travel wherever in the body is calling for tenderness, or maybe just soaking through the whole of you, and simply listening and being with what arises is more than enough. Listening to the body. She's so glad to be heard. In the space of awareness now, which is Yoga Nidra, allowing for the mental awareness to travel throughout the body, as if now, having listened to the living earth of the body is like a great tree, And in the great tree are settling, as you prefer, either the light of conscious awareness shining on that tree, like the dappled sunlight shining on the tree, or perhaps, if you prefer, in that dappled light, tiny birds of awareness. They settle in the great tree of the body. So whichever feels most naturally arising, either to place the light of conscious awareness or these little beautiful singing birds can settle into the great tree of the body. However feels most natural, then bring the awareness to settle in the crown of the tree and the crown of the head, between the eyebrows, between the collarbones, and down the right arm, shoulder, elbow, wrist, at the very tips of the right hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Inside the right wrist, in the little nook there, and in the elbow and the shoulder, and back to the space between the two collarbones, and down the left arm, shoulder, elbow, wrist, the very tips of the left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Wrist, elbow, shoulder, and back to the collarbones, as if the light of conscious awareness is shining in the great tree of the body, or this little flock of birds is settling. And then moving that awareness down, behind the center of the breastbone, behind the navel, down to the pubic bone, right hip, knee, ankle, and the tips of the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Right ankle, knee and hip back to the pubic bones and over. Left hip, knee, ankle, and the tips of the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe and fifth toe. Left ankle, knee, hip, back to the pubic bones, back up to the navel, to the breastbone, to the place between the collarbones, to the place between the eyebrows, to the very top of the head, as if the whole of the great tree of the body now were fully alive with the settling of the light of awareness, or the little birds of awareness in the great tree of the body, as if they've all come home. And the body is alive with this awareness back down between the eyebrows, between the collarbones, and all the way home to the heart, behind the center of the breastbone. And being with the breath in this great tree of the body, in the space of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra. Notice now how when that breath comes in, it's as if the awareness or those little birds lift up a little bit away from the body, as if the awareness goes out a little away from the body, curious and exploring, and out a little into the world. But when the breath turns and the exhale settles back down again, it's as if everything comes back home and you're whole again, and the awareness settles back in the body like the little birds just landing very gently in the body. And move with each breath, as if on the inhale there could be this expansion into a kind of little curious travelling beyond the tree of the body. On the inhale, out there a little bit. And on the exhale, it all comes back home to settle, the awareness alive in the body, like the little birds just landing on the tree. And be with this movement between the two, the curiosity out there a little bit, maybe seeking on the inhale outside of the body, and the exhale, welcoming the awareness back home. And then inviting for the possibility that those two qualities of feeling could maybe coexist. So how would that be? To hold for the awareness a little bit of space, a little bit away from the tree of the body out there, but at the same time to feel fully present and grounded with the landing of that awareness in the body. To be centered, but yet seeking outwards at the same time. So how would that be? To be at home to yourself, but like open to the possibility that there could be a little something else out there slightly beyond the safety of your home tree. But then you can come back into it. How would it be? Where would that be? To hold those two experiences at the same time? What would that be like? Centered yet open. And then leave off that exploration. And in the space of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra, once again, feeling how the breath moves the awareness. As if when the breath comes in now, the attention could travel right out, far out, as if your song could be sung far away up into the sky like a lark on the wing, up, singing her heart out. And then on the exhale, it's as if that song comes home and is heard in the body. And the breath moves in that way, so that each inhalation, it's as if your song could be way out there, celestially high on the wing. And with the exhale, the beauty of that song comes quietly home. And you hear it in the intimacy of your own breath, of your own heartbeat, of your own body, and be moving between those two to send that song far out on the wing, up above, and then to feel it coming home at the end of the exhale, so tender, so intimate, so quietly settled at home in the body. And then again, invite the possibility that both that song out there in the world and this quiet, tender listening to the song of your own body inside, those two things could be there at the same time. As if you could be singing your heart out with your song wide out over the whole wide world, but at the same time, that song intimate, private, settled, quietly at home. As if they'd be one and the same. How would that feel? To be in yourself yet out in the world at the same time? To sing your own little song but to share it with everybody? How would that be? Can you hear the song? Can you hear the music of what happens? And then let that be with every breath. As the breath becomes a little louder. And as you breathe now, it's as if each little part of you, rested and warm, the earth of the body filled with the light of the prana-filled breath coming and going. Feeling back now into the space of the heart and moving that feeling of gladness and appreciation all the way down into the source place on the exhale, like a great magical river traveling down into the source on the exhale. And then on the inhale, letting that source energy, that creative power, cyclical wisdom travel all the way up into the heart to renew the heart's capacity to love, so that on the exhale that heart's love travels down into the source, and on the inhale the creative energy of the source renews the heart's capacity to love. And feel that now this awakened river of energy flows all by herself no effort required, and that it will continue to flow and to nourish long after the practice is finished. Breathe into that space. Feel how it is now to embody the experience of being a part of the living earth, herself. Every breath flowing through you like the rivers flow through the earth. And as the breath gets a little louder now, you can reawaken movement in the body as if you like, the light of conscious awareness is reawakening the body to movement, or if you prefer, that the little birds of awareness land back in the tree with a little kiss for each part of you, as if the little bird lands and kisses settle in the body, and each little kiss awakens you, rested, refreshed, full of energy, ready to move and breathe, touching the little kisses on the thumb of the right hand, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, stretching out the right hand. Alive with the kisses of the little birds of awareness into the left hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, all the way through the left hand, stretching out through the arms, up through into the shoulders and the neck and the tip of your nose. And the chin and the top of your head, and a big yawn, and all the way down the front of the body through the breastbone and the pubic bones, and right the way down to the toes, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, little spaces between the toes, little kisses of awareness, reawakening movement all the way over, down the left leg into the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, stretching out through the toes. As if you've been kissed awake. Oh, I have a big yawn. Stretch, breathe. Be yourselves in the beauty which you are. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. This practice of wild Nidra is now complete.